We've got the grand goodies on Garden Geckos in this first impressions edition of Little Big Thumbs.
Welcome to Little Big Thumbs, a channel that's all about finding great games that are equally fun for little players and big players. My name is JP,
I'm Milo.
and today we're going to be talking about a game called Garden Geckos from Tin Robot Games. We just finished playing our very first game of Garden Geckos, and we wanted to turn on the camera right away and record our first impressions.
Garden Geckos is a tile laying game where players are going to be in charge of 5 geckos that they place around the board as they're playing tiles, collecting bugs. There are different objectives that can be completed. There's terrain objectives, bug objectives, there's secret objectives, and the player with the most points at the end of the game wins.
And so what we're going to do over the next few minutes is we're going to ask each other some questions. Milo, I've got 2 questions for you. I think you've got 2 questions for me, and then we've got some kind of final thoughts. And we'll leave it at that for this video. Short and sweet. All right, Milo, my first question for you. You are in charge of unboxing this game, of opening it up, and learning how to play. So I guess my question for you is, what was your first impression upon opening the box? What you found inside?
Okay, yeah, so upon first opening it, I was blown away by the components. The little, like, bug and gecko meeples are just so cute. I remember opening the lid and being like, "Oh my gosh, these are so cute," and I immediately started taking them out of the bags and looking at them. The box lid itself has, like, a really cute image on the inside. I also was like, "Oh my goodness, this is adorable." So, those were my first impressions. JP,
Hmm.
having played this as 2 adults,
Yes.
how do you think that this would translate to playing with your kids?
All right. Well, I mean, context being that we've only played it one time, kind of glancing at the rule regularly. But first impressions, like the rules that are in that rule book, I think might be a touch too complex for my kids. But we've got those 2 public kinds of gold cards as well as the secret goals. And I feel like we could remove 1 or 2 of those to really strip down the complexity of what we're thinking about as we're building out that landscape of the game. In the box, I think maybe my older daughter, my 8-year-old, could probably get her head around these rules. But I think there is potential to simplify it for younger players.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to loop back to my first question. So you gave us your first impressions upon opening the box. So second question then is, how did the gameplay compare to those expectations?
Okay, so I remember like opening up the cards, the decks of cards and just sort of like skimming through them before I read the rules. And I was like trying to connect in my head how I thought the game would play out. A little bit different than what I anticipated. I remember like halfway through the game when we ran out of placing your 5 initial geckos and then you would just start moving the ones that were already on the
Mm.
board. We were like, "Ooh, game changer." Like things drastically changed. So I remember reading through the rules and being like, "Oh wow, this is going to be like so easy." And then like that happened and you really had to like okay, strategize. So that was really fun. I like that.
Awesome.
So how about you? Were there any moments that stood out to you?
Yes, yeah, for sure. Like bouncing off of what you were just saying about that moment where we have our 5 geckos, and then the moment where there's no more geckos off the board, and you have to start moving the ones that are on the board. That was like a paradigm shift in the game of like, oh no, this is like we've just evolved to another chapter of the game, and the amount of focus you have to have on the table while you are deciding what gecko to move because you're losing access to a kind of terrain. And there were a couple of times where I went to go score one of those bonus cards, and I was like, oh no, I just gave up the thing I needed to score the card. It becomes like a really thinky experience in that like second chapter of the game, in the second act of the game. That was a really like interesting moment, like kind of a surprise,
Yeah.
which is nice. It's a nice to have a surprise with these sorts of games. It seemed like just kind of straight up abstract, and then it was like, oh, there's like this tactical thing going on here. So super cool. All right, final question of this video, Milo. Scale of 1 to 5. How interested, excited, on fire are you to play this game again. 1 being, maybe not so interested. 5 being, oh my gosh, can we please stop filming this video so we can replay Garden Geckos right now? What's your score?
I think that this is like a solid 3 for me.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. It goes up to 6 players. I'd be very curious to see what it would be like with like a full 6 player game.
Yeah.
So yeah, a 3 for me. How
Oh,
about you?
I think I'm going to go. I'm going to go a little bit higher than you. I'm going to go a 4. As we were finishing the first game, I was like, "Oh my gosh, there are so many ways that I will be able to play this game better the next time we play." And I'm not sure that there is a better feeling in a game than finishing up a game and knowing, all right, this is how I need to play differently to do better. So in that sense, there's a lot of replayability. It is a gorgeous looking game. This might be, I've played a handful of these Tin Robot games now over the years, and I think this might be their best designed game. Obviously only played it 1 time, so take that with whatever grains of salt you wish to, but I think this might be the most excited I've been to replay a Tin Robot game. And so those are my impressions. All right, if you are curious to learn some more about Garden Geckos, we'll provide some links in the description of this video so you can learn more about the game. And until next time, whether you've got little players
Or big players
make sure that you keep playing games
that make your thumbs
go way up. Bye for now.